Welcome to the first episode of our webinar series, where we will explore the different phases of the media content lifecycle. In today's session, we will focus on the production of scripted content, and we will do this through the lens of a daily soap produced by Warner Bros. Belgium. A special thank you to Warner Bros. For kindly hosting today's session. We will be showing how Warner Bros. Has improved its operational efficiency by connecting two powerful platforms, dzjinius and Limecraft. My name is Robert. I will be your host for today. Please feel free to drop your questions in the chat and we will address them during the session. Let me now welcome our two experts for today's session. Ivan, welcome.
Welcome.
Could you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about dzjinius?
Thanks, Robert. I'm Ivan. I'm one of the co-founders of dzjinius and currently active as the CTO. For more than 10 years, we are actually bringing an integrated all-in production platform to our customers. And we are covering almost all aspects of the production workflow with that. We have done quite some continuous drama implementations in that period, and today I'll focus on the unique opportunities in this area, and more specifically the combined and integrated platforms of dzjinius and Limecraft.
Okay, thank you, Ivan. Nico, welcome.
Thank you, Robert.
Could you take a moment to introduce yourself and briefly introduce Limecraft?
Yeah, sure. I'm Nico. I'm also one of the co-founders of Limecraft, responsible for product management, so head of product, so taking all the questions and needs from our customers and try to get them in the product. It's a pleasure to be here together with dzjinius and to bring our solution for drama production. For those who don't know Limecraft yet, we're a cloud-based production platform focusing on scripted and unscripted media production, and we help producers and post-production teams to work together, to collaborate, to automate things, to manage their media, to make some tedious tasks a little bit easier. But actually, we're not just a media manager. We're actually a workflow enabler. We help in automating and streamlining production processes by our system.
Okay, thank you, Nico. Now, before we dive into the solutions, let's take a step back and talk about the challenges that Warner Bros. Was facing. Challenges that many of you might be familiar with. Producing content is an interplay from both production and post-production. However, in reality, those two worlds are often distinct and each with its own reality. Ivan, how would you describe the production environment?
Well, actually what we often see during the discovery and analysis phases of implementations is that we are confronted with a scattered application landscape, and that supports the whole production process. This almost always leads to suboptimal workflows characterized by a lack of integration, data being repeatedly keyed in other systems, and loss of key information in the total workflow. This often leads to bad or even wrong information in the process, and correcting this is costly and slows down the whole workflow in end production. This is quite disruptive for any production, but definitely it has a very high impact on productions with a high pace, like continuing drama. And while this is true for multiple steps in the workflow, we definitely observe this in the handover from pre-production, production to post-production, where any information is passed through using a variety of quite inefficient ways, like handwritten notes coming from sets and then handed over to the editing team, and that's where this solution comes in.
Okay, interesting, thank you. Nico, how about the post-production environment?
Yeah, what we see in post-production is that it's really focused on security, highly structured, focusing on the quality of what to deliver and what to well, actually a high quality result. But of course, that precision comes at a cost. We see that a lot of teams are still stuck in a lot of manual processes like syncing up media, audio, video, metadata input, a lot of tedious tasks, repetitive tasks going on. And that's actually where the friction and the slowdown mostly comes from is different tools, etc. And this always leads to suboptimal workflows and processes.
Sounds pretty familiar. So here's the first big challenge. How can we connect and integrate those two environments, make them work together without changing their nature, but ensuring that valuable information, such as metadata, flows smoothly from production to post-production, vice versa? And why is this important? Because the seamless flow of information is absolutely key to improve the operational efficiency, as we will discover during the session. From a business perspective, there are both internal and external challenges. Ivan, could you highlight one of the external challenges?
Well, if I have to choose one, for me, the main overall observation is that current production teams are under a lot of pressure to deliver the same quality of output and the same creative, high quality final results. But this challenged them to search for improved workflows because the budgets are under a lot of constraints and are quite tight. So that means that the only way to handle that is to optimize your workflows to a maximum.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Ivan. Nico, could you share an internal challenge that the teams encountered?
Definitely. Yeah, I think probably one of the most challenging internal is actually the number of growing tools. We see a lot of systems, a lot of hands-off between those systems or between the teams. For example, the IT is using one application and then script supervisor is using something differently, and the editorial team is again using something differently, and typically those applications are not natively integrated. So it's actually a sort of fragmented tooling landscape, and this fragmentation leads in the end to gaps, duplication, and again friction. So if we can solve that problem, then I think we can bring some value to the production chain.
Okay, thank you, Nico. Great insights from both of you. Well, reasons enough to increase the efficiency. Now, let's find out how those challenges have been tackled. Before we head to the studio, Nico, could you shortly explain how Warner, Ivan, and you have worked together to make the workflow smarter?
Yes. So indeed, we bring a smarter workflow to the whole production process. And we all know the stages within drama production or continuous drama. It starts from the script, and then from the script we work up to the breakdown, scheduling, and then from the scheduling we actually go to the shoot. That's where the material is realized. And from the shoot we try to get all the materials into a system. We ingest the materials into a system, and from that point on we try to pre-cut and bring it to the final edit where the actual result is being created. Now, what we see is and which makes it interesting, we as company or both companies in a partnership, is that we cover actually the whole workflow. dzjinius covers from script to the shoot, and Limecraft actually covers from shooting up until the edit. And not only by covering parts of the workflows, it becomes even stronger if we integrate, because actually what we are facilitating is where in the previous workflows metadata is still not is suboptimal flow of the metadata through the chain. We as companies, we can ensure that the metadata and all the information flowing around is captured and is nicely flowing from script up until the edit. So that the integration is more than 1 + 1. And we actually, by integrating, we actually bring new things to these workflows. We can actually go to more automation, and that's actually the untapped potential here, and also the game changer. We focus on automated ingest, on generation of pre-cuts and sequences make them ready for editing. And that's actually what is the smarter workflow we bring to the teams here. Yeah.
Okay, promising. Let's make all of this tangible. We'll dive deeper into each step of the solution of the workflow. Let's go to the studios. And in the meantime, please continue to post your questions in the chat. We will be right back. Welcome back. As you can see, we are now in the studio of Warner Bros., the place where the magic happens. Let's set the scene with some figures. What does a soap represent in reality? We have about 220 episodes a season. Needed are 370 shooting days, generating more than 800 hours of ingested media. And all this, we, together with Warner, increase the efficiency with 20%. Let's go back to the workflow as a starting point. As you can see, it all starts with a script. Ivan, can you take us from here?
Yes, indeed, Robert. It all starts with a script. Welcome to the integrated Genius scriptwriter, the heart of your production's creative journey. Built directly into the Genius platform, this tool offers all the features you'd expect from a professional screenwriting solution tailored for the fast-paced demands of drama and entertainment. But we don't stop here. For high-volume productions like drama series, daily drama series, Genius adds a layer of intelligence. You can write and manage multiple episodes in blocks. You can navigate a fully customizable script lifecycle from breakdown or synopsis script to shooting version and final clear-up. And every version is securely stored and tracked in a central repository. No more scattered drafts across inboxes. No more confusion about which version is the latest. With Genius Platform, your script is always up to date, accessible, and ready to move securely between writers and production teams. This is what one version of the truth really means. The next step, when we go from narrative to a structured intelligence. Even in its earliest form, a script is more than just dialogue. With Genius, that raw creative output becomes instantly actionable. From draft 1, scripts can be enriched with metadata, bringing structure to the inherently open-ended world of storytelling. Using our intuitive tagging system, producers and writers can annotate key moments, add comments, and flag production-critical elements directly in the script. But we even go further. Genius captures rich, structured data across every scene. Principal and secondary cast, extras and bystanders, location context and logistical flags. And yes, scripts can be timed from the very first version. This means you can preempt duration issues early, reducing costly over or underruns in production. In short, Genius transforms your script from a creative asset into a fully informed production blueprint, ready for downstream planning, budgeting, and post-production alignment. And when we go from the script to the breakdown, your story takes shape, and Genius ensures nothing is lost in translation. All the metadata added to the script is seamlessly transferred into the breakdown process. From the very first draft, Genius begins structuring your narrative into actionable, production-ready data. Every new version of the script stays fully synchronized. No manual rework, no duplicated effort, no double data entry. And whether you're revising scenes or reordering episodes, your breakdowns adapt with you. But flexibility remains key. You need to tag product placement, you have to add audio-only cues, or define TOS overlays or non-visual pickups. you can easily add additional breakdowns with ease, tailored to your production needs. And when something changes, say a scene edit impacts a location or a cast setup, dzjinius flags this difference instantly and transparently, so there are no surprises in pre-production. Breakdowns aren't a side process anymore. They are an integrated, intelligent layer of your script workflow. Eventually, every breakdown hits the floor. And with dzjinius, scheduling a shoot becomes an intelligent as the prep behind it. Our integrated drama scheduling module lets you start building your shooting plan as early as the first script draft, or wait until later in development. The flexibility is yours. Whether you're managing a single unit or coordinating across multiple units and platforms, dzjinius gives you full control with real-time awareness. It instantly alerts and flags potential conflicts, cast double bookings, location overlaps, or actor availability issues. And when bigger changes hit, like a last-minute script rewrite due to illness or other setbacks, the entire chain reacts. From script to breakdown to schedule, dzjinius keeps your team informed and aligned. No bottlenecks, no buried surprises, just proactive support to help your production team pivot with confidence. And then, of course, we come to the call sheet. Once your schedule is locked in, it's time to bring it to life. And that's where the call sheet takes center stage. dzjinius automatically generates your call sheet from the approved schedule. And if you're also using our resource scheduling module, your crew and assets are linked directly to it, providing your team with a complete real-time overview of the day's shoot. And there's where the real power begins. The call sheet becomes a data-rich package, not just a PDF to print and forget. It includes everything: cast and crew, location and timings, scene details from the script, but also all relevant metadata collected along the way. This full dataset is then handed over to our integration partner Limecraft, where post-production takes over with complete clarity on what was intended and what was captured. And yes, we know plans change, scenes evolve, weather intervenes. That's where tight integration truly shines, because with dzjinius and Limecraft, updates flow forward, not just backwards. We stay in sync, we stay ahead. Every production plan meets the real world on set, and dzjinius captures that moment with precision. Our daily report module tracks what was scheduled versus what actually happens and happened on the ground. Whether it's a missed scene, a pickup shot, or just a delay, everything is recorded, structured, and made actionable. This isn't just paperwork, it's production intelligence. Your unit progress is updated in real time, non-shot scenes and pickups are automatically flagged for follow-up, and if you log takes directly into dzjinius or link it with a vendor-specific or on-set hardware or software, you can embed even richer metadata straight into the timeline. And all of this flows forward, enabling a seamless, data-driven handover to post-production and to Limecraft's platform. Because the faster your post team understands what really happened on set, the faster they can shape it into what the audience will ultimately see on air.
Thank you, Ivan, for this detailed insight. Nico, tell us what's happening after the shoot.
Thank you, Robert. Yeah, as already known, so after the shoot, all camera cards are collected. So every camera has been recording on camera cards. The audio has been recorded on camera cards. And all these cards are gathered by the DIT or the data handler. And that's where Limecraft kicks in. The DIT or data handler can use one of our applications to really make backups, securely make backups. So checksumped. What we do is we copy all files from the camera cards onto one or more backup storages. And that's a very important step in the process, because from that moment on, we actually track every file which has been seen by the application, and which actually brings us to a next step. Is also a very important step in the process is the media sync. in MediaSync, we bring all video files and audio files together based on their time code. So we try to match video files with their corresponding audio through that time code. But not only that is important. We know that, or in most workflows, the audio mixer or sound recorder has been inputting data onto his audio recorder, scene, shot, and take information, which has been added to the recorder. And through the MediaSync, we actually derive that metadata from the file, from the audio file, and bring it together. So bringing together means actually generating files, generating dailies in this case, dailies which can be used downstream for reviewing purposes. But not only dailies, we also generate the edit proxies, and we do that for both Avid systems or Premiere systems. This can be in different qualities depending on the kind of workflow you're running. And once those files are generated, these will be uploaded or transferred to a central system. The central system is actually a browser application which can be consulted by everyone of the production team. It gives you first a view of all the clips which were being recorded, which were generated through the system. You can find information like a circle take, the file name, on which shooting day it was shot, and so on. And very important is that we present this in an editorial view. So again, based on this scene, shot, and take information, that's how we present it to the user. Already said it's a browser-based system, so it can be consulted from everywhere, but in some cases it's even more handy that you can consult all the media onto a mobile app when you're remotely, for example, so everyone involved in the production team or in the production process can have a look at all the rushes which were generated by the team. Let's go back to the central application or the central workspace. So every media was added and transferred into this system. Next, and that's the key within the integration. Now everything was ingested. We will pull all the data, and it's a big pile of information, as Ivan already explained. It goes from script information, character information, notes, comments, etc. Everything will be pulled into the workspace. We enrich every clip which is sitting in that workspace, and that's actually where the magic starts. That's actually where we can start automating stuff through the usage of that very important metadata. So not only the scene, shot, take information, but every piece of data now adds value to the production workflow. What we now can do is actually generate precuts and sequences from all that information. So the system is able to generate sequences which are script-based, which are really an editorial view on what has been shot. And actually this is what you see, for example, in this view. It's an Avid suite, an Avid bin, and already, of course, it's the normal part of the process is every clip will be there, all the rushes will be there, but we support, we go even further, we support things like file naming, better file naming, coloring to make it more visible, to make it easier to organize, but also these sequences and precuts are there, even in multiple versions. So you can have a timeline really representing the script, but you can have timelines which, for example, show bloopers, etc., etc. So it can go really far, and that's actually where the power gets really visible, especially for the editor, because this editor can really focus on the storytelling rather than doing all these manual tasks, inputting data, repetitive tasks. He can really kickstart his edit from all this was generated.
Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Ivan, for connecting the dots and showing where the magic is happening. So this is what Warner calls a smart workflow and how they can increase their efficiency. But does it end here?
No, Robert, it doesn't.
I thought so.
Because now that we have all the information in both systems and available in both systems, that means that we have an end-to-end integration between the systems, meaning that it allows us to display video material within the production platform, so the whole organization, and every team can have a view and access to that information, whether it's the dailies based on the call sheet or whether it's clear up who wants to see full episodes, actually they can, from within their combined environment with the combined information that we store. So it's a true integration and an end-to-end solution for this particular workflow.
Ivan, thank you for clarifying this. I think it's time to give the studio back to Warner and his production team. We will be right back. This was a great experience. Having an inside look at how it works behind the scenes, and this in between the set of a daily soap. Interesting times for all those who are involved in the media content production. Now, let's wrap things up by highlighting the key benefits of integrating the pre-production, production, and post-production solution, dzjinius and Limecraft. By automating manual, repetitive tasks, you free up time for what really matters, the creative work. Ensuring data consistency leads to streamlined editorial processes. And by connecting the tools across pre-production, production, and post-production, you reduce complexity and shorten the overall production lifecycle. And of course, all of this leads to an improved operational efficiency. This is exactly how Warner Bros. Has built a smart production workflow. A faster turnaround at a lower total cost, a great return on investment. Now, let's take a moment to answer some of the questions you have posted in the chat. Nico, I think this may be one for you. What metadata is sent to the editorial suite?
Yeah, that's a good question. So through the whole workflow and by integrating the two systems, we get actually everything from that script up until breakdown and scheduling. So that means we get information about the script, about the characters, props, product placements, everything is there. So that flows into the Limecraft suite. We get some data through the media sync from set. And in the end, what flows up until the edit depends a little bit on the integration. If we work, for example, in an edit workflow, then everything is passed on by using an AF. And that requires sometimes a little bit configuration, but again, every type of metadata or kind of metadata can be passed through, which in the end, which drives the value and improves the workflow.
Okay, thank you. Ivan, question for you, I think. Setting up this integration, connecting dzjinius, Limecraft, integrating, is this a lot of work?
Well, the solution as such is a working solution, huh? Like we proved, and we prove each and every shooting day and in live situations. So that's not a lot of work. Of course, you always have to research a bit what are the current tools in use, what are you going to change, what are you not going to change. So there is some analysis and discovery needed, but once that the whole flow is clearly defined and actually agreed upon, it's quite smooth.
Okay, all right, thank you. Nico, back to you. Question I received. Question on multi-camera. And first, do we support this? How do we deal with it? And is there a way of knowing which camera has to be picked in the edit?
We definitely support multicam. That means that typically multiple cards are presented to the DIT, so offloaded and ingested into the system. And the main factor here is that they are both media synced on their timecode basis. So if the multicam has been running on timecode basis, we can sync them up together with the audio and do the same, bring it into the workspace and then indicate which is all information which is there. If of course at set or by the director there are some indications of which viewing point is the best, that can also travel along into the workspace and can be circled to some point of extent.
Yeah. Maybe I can hand this over to...
Yeah, just wanted to notice that also our platform supports camera scripting. So if you have location shots and you would do the camera scripting within the system, we also can give that metadata. So actually that's the initial idea of the director, that you can just push to the edit suite because you know what he was intended to show, which camera.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right, thank you. Nico, back to you. Question, does a DIT need a particular training on the system?
The application, which is called Edge, is rather intuitive, but of course, if we come into more challenging situations or special situations, there is some advanced working in terms of file naming patterns, etc., and those kind of things. But I think from just adopting and taking it along on a production set, it's rather easy and intuitive qua system. Mm-hmm. So it's just plug and play. Only if you want to go more advanced and have more complex workflows, then probably there is some assistance or guidance can be helpful.
Okay, yeah. All right, thank you. Ivan, you still there?
I'm still here, yeah.
Okay. Question for you, I think. Does somebody has to enter the type of shot I read here? Is it a close-up, a mid shot?
Well, that's what we support in our camera scripting. You can do that on script level, where you actually say, okay, I want camera A to have a close-up on that character on this particular part of the script, and I have multi-shot with camera B at that point in time on maybe the bystander or whatever. I'm not really a production guy, but that's the concept actually, that you have all that information integrated in your script and actually intertwined with your script.
Okay, all right. Having a look at the time. Thanks for your great questions, everyone. We'll make sure to follow up on any remaining ones after this webinar. Before we close the webinar, please reach out to us to reserve your slot for a more in-depth session. We're looking forward to helping you to build a strong business case for improving your production workflows and increasing the overall efficiency. Ivan, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me and to give the opportunity to actually show something that we strongly believe in to the outside world.
All right. Nico, thank you so much for joining us as well.
Thank you for inviting me as well.
And a special thank you to Emma Vincent from Warner Bros. Belgium, who made this webinar possible. And of course, thank you to all of you for joining us today in a pretty great number. Thank you for that. And we hope to see you again in one of the upcoming sessions. Enjoy the rest of the day. Stay tuned.